Hi everyone, Abby here, and welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing the Garmin Fenix 8 smartwatch, a video requested by many of you. And make sure to stay tuned to the end. I'm going to be letting you guys know if I think it's worth it or not, because this is a very expensive smartwatch. I have this in the color soft gold, fog gray, dark sandstone, gold colored bezel, buttons, little bottom here, and then it has the fog gray on the bottom and the sandstone on the band and on the casing here. So I do have the Fenix 8 here in the 43mm size in the AMOLED display sapphire version. And this does come in other colors and versions as well. So the current price as of recording for this smartwatch here is $1,479.99 Canadian and $1,099.99 American. And because this smartwatch has been out for, a couple of months now, it has started going on sale more frequently. So now I'm gonna go into the major spec highlights about this smartwatch so you can get an idea of what it can do. Fenix 8 here can track your steps, calories burned, your active minutes, your floors climbed, your sleep. It also has a heart rate monitor that can track your heart rate 24/7. It has a 43mm size along with a 1.3-inch AMOLED color display and a sapphire crystal lens. It has a 20mm quick fit watch band here. It can track your indoor and outdoor activities, and this can track pretty much everything. Things like running, walking, yoga, boxing, swimming, and much more. It does have built-in GPS. It also gives you daily suggested workouts. It has Pace Pro. It has a built-in flashlight feature. It also has a water rating of 10 ATM or 100 meters. So you can take this thing in the pool, in the rain, in the shower, in the snow, and more with no issues. And I've gone ahead and listed a bunch more features on screen for you guys. And all right guys, this is what it looks like on me. And I do have a 7-inch wrist. And I've gone ahead and listed all the wrist sizes this watch can fit on screen for you. It does fit a wide variety of wrist sizes, which is quite nice. You guys can see there's a lot of holes here to accommodate. This really looks like a Forerunner to me, like the band, because it just has holes all throughout. Now, wearing this watch, I haven't had any type of skin irritation or any discomfort wearing it. I do find it a bit big, in my opinion. It's a bit too big for me. You guys know I like my compact, lightweight smartwatches, and this is just a little bit too big for me at the 43mm size. Aside from the size, I do think it looks really nice. It does look classy, premium. It definitely has a very unisex feel, so this is something that I think would be great for men and women. It does also have like a matte finish. Now, when it comes to the comfort of this, it is pretty comfortable to wear. If you're asking me if I think it's heavy, I wouldn't say it's heavy, but it's definitely not lightweight. It's something that I do notice being on my wrist. I do wish that Garmin did come out with an S version. They decided not to come out with the Fenix 8S, which is the first time in like 5 years that Garmin has just done that for Fenix. There was a Fenix 5S, a Fenix 6S, a Fenix 7S, and Garmin decided that they're not gonna make a smaller version this year. So I did find that disappointing. If you are someone who does like larger smartwatches though, I think this could be a really great option for you. The display here is a really good size, so you can see a lot of different data on here. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Does have an AMOLED color display. So with this, you can see your bright, your bold, your punchy colors. And one thing I really like about the Fenix 8 here is that they just added so many different types of color tones that you can use when you're, customizing your watch faces, for example. Something else about the version here, as I mentioned, is that it has a sapphire crystal lens. Great for being super durable. Honestly, in my opinion, they've been scratch proof. Sapphire crystal lenses are notoriously very reflective. So this is indoor, under some lighting as well. Now, here's what it looks like outside in, the sunlight and some natural lighting here. This is even harder to read outdoors because of the reflection here. So I definitely do recommend either leaving this on auto brightness or pumping up your brightness when you are outdoors or when you're in kind of brighter lighting indoors to make it easier to read. So this is the first Fenix watch that came out with a AMOLED display. Before this, Fenix watches always had sunlight transflective, memory, and pixel displays. AMOLED displays are great for like gym usage if you're someone who just wants to work out indoors. Very contrasting, easy to read, but if you're someone who predominantly likes to work out outside, you may not like the AMOLED display. I personally don't like it for my outdoor usage, and I rely on my memory and pixel display smartwatches outdoors. The Fenix 8 has a quoted battery life up to 10 days. Now, with my usage, doing things like GPS walks, runs, checking my smartphone notifications, setting alarms, timers, and more, I've gotten on average 7 to 7.5 days of battery life with this watch. So for me, that's honestly not too bad. I really only have to charge it once a week, and that's something that I could easily fit into my lifestyle. I think a lot of people could as well. Just so you know, those are my battery life results with the optional always on display off. When I did turn on the optional always on display, it dropped my battery life down to 2 to 3 days max. So I don't really use that feature because it kills my battery life a lot, and it's a bit disappointing, and that's something that you're getting with an AMOLED display that you don't have to worry about with a memory and pixel display. But optional always on display option is there for you if you're someone who you want to have that on all the time and you don't mind charging your smartwatch more often. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna go into women's health. So for my men out there who don't wanna see this or anybody else, you can use my timestamps in the description below and jump to the next section where I'm gonna be talking about activity tracking. The Garmin Fenix 8 here, it did not come with a women's health pre-installed. That's an app that you can actually add in. I honestly think that the Fenix 8 is not really being geared towards women because most of Garmin's smartwatches come with women's health pre-installed. Once you do get it on here, it's gonna keep track of the stage that you're in your cycle, so you can log your symptoms that you are currently feeling. I do like that there's a good amount of options here. And you can also log your mood. Once again, I do like to see that there are a lot of options there. I do wish that we could add a few of our own. You can also add in if you're experiencing any discharge. You can add your sex drive. And when you're actually on your period, you can log your flow intensity. You can do all of that on the watch here, or you can do that in the Garmin Connect app. I personally do like using the app. It does have, cute little emojis, little icons there, and in the app, you can actually see a period prediction. So it predicts when your next period will be. I find that it's been spot on accurate. I've been using it for years. Overall, I do find the women's health here to be pretty helpful. Just at tracking, how I'm feeling on a daily basis, how I'm feeling during my menstrual cycle, and it is very customizable. You can go ahead and you can take on and off things. Like if you don't want to track your sex drive, you could take that off. If you don't want to track your mood, you could take that off. It's very customizable, so you can just track and see exactly what you want to. The Fenix smartwatch is Garmin's flagship smartwatch, and they basically throw everything under the kitchen sink in this smartwatch. I'm going to show you all of the activities that you can track right now in case you guys are wondering what this can track. So I'm just going to show you kind of my most used first, and then I will show you the rest. They did go ahead and they categorized them. So here are outdoor activities. Some outdoor activities, not all of them, because running is in its own section and cycling and so forth. An abundance of gym activities. And you can do diving with the smartwatch, which I think is pretty great because there are not many smartwatches that you can dive with. So as I was saying, the Fenix just has everything. I can't even think of something that it's missing, to be honest. If you're someone who you really like to do a lot of different activities, getting a Fenix 8 or a Fenix in general just would be a really great option for you to track all of your activities. Now, one thing I will say is that I do wish that it was just alphabetical order instead of these categories. Take me a little bit longer to find certain things sometimes. So in my experience, when it comes to activity tracking, this smartwatch does a fantastic job. And it also has an auto activity called a Move IQ feature where if you're doing an activity for 10 minutes or longer, it'll automatically track that for you. It's not the most accurate. So if you are, for example, doing a dance workout for 10 minutes, it might just say that you're walking for 10 minutes. So it's always the best to just go in and start the activity yourself instead of relying on the watch to auto track it. For a run or a walk, for example, if you're doing an outdoor activity, it turns on the GPS for you. It tracks your distance, your pace, your heart rate, the time. GPS also connects super fast. It also does show you the maps, location, and you can see a lot more in the Garmin app. You guys have seen a sample one I had on screen for you, where you can see some of my heart rate data, steps, and more. This does have the Garmin Elevate 5 heart rate sensor, which is Garmin's newest heart rate sensor that they have released for their smartwatches. It is their most accurate one as well. Now with this, you are able to track your heart rate really accurately during your workouts, from high to low, and your heart rate changes. It's going to track that really well. And the heart rate sensor is slightly elevated, so when you're actually wearing the watch, this is really the only part that is kind of touching your skin. With the operation here, you do have an option to use the touch screen, and then there's also buttons as well. We have our light button. You can also hold that to open up a control panel, and then you can click any of these if you want to use them, like a do not disturb. You can swipe to the right to go back. You can also press this button down here to go back. So this button is your up button, this is your down button. If you hold this button down here, it's going to open up your music. Once again, this is the back. Holding this button here opens up your settings. And going into settings here, you can customize a lot of stuff here, like your brightness, your connectivity. You can add on Bluetooth devices and a lot more. Holding this button down here, your last use app. If you press this, it's going to open up a lot of stuff. So you can go to activities if you double click it, or you can just go here and open up some different things. And holding this opens up your voice command. You can use your voice to do things like setting alarms, timers, and more. What's the weather like? And if you swipe up from the display, you can see your metrics here, like your sleep, your heart rate, and whatever other things that you have turned on here. If you swipe down, you're going to see your notifications. And to change your watch faces, once again, you're just going to the settings. So this is the only watch face that it did come pre-installed with. I did go ahead and I changed the color and changed some of the metrics here. And then I went ahead and I made one of my own. So you can go and you can add new. So this is where you can create your own. So these are all of the built-in watch faces that you can customize. And here are two that I did download. Using the app, there are a variety of watch faces that you can download. One thing that I don't like about it is that a lot of them are paid, and you can also make your own using the Face It within the Garmin Connect IQ app. You can go ahead and you can add a picture, you can add changing the look of the time and stuff like that, and different metrics that you want to view. So there is some customizability there. If you don't like the pre-built watch faces, you can make your own, you can download extra. Can download music on here. You can download hundreds of songs, and you can use providers like Spotify, YouTube Music, Deezer, Amazon Music. You can download your own MP3 files on here as well. This is something I love because you can listen to music or a podcast, whatever, on the go, phone free. Now, when it comes to downloading music, I've been really happy with the performance here. It's been doing that very quickly. I downloaded a playlist of 93 tracks in about 5 minutes or less, which is fantastic. Mind you, this used to take over like an hour and a half on some older smartwatches. And when it does come to the music here, you can listen to music using Bluetooth headphones, or you can play it with the speaker directly on the watch here. You can take phone calls with it, so you can answer or deny the call. You can also speak your calls directly on here. I'm just wondering how you're feeling.
Sound really weird. Are you on headphones or something? Or you're just like cutting in and out a little bit. It's like weird tone.
Oh, that's not good.
Did you get new headphones? Like, are they like trial ones or something?
No, this is just a smartwatch.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
It's not good that it doesn't sound good though.
No, it sounds kind of crappy.
Okay, well that's good to know.
Well, you just got a lot better.
No, I didn't do anything different. So when you are using the smartwatch, notifications will pop at anytime. One thing I like about the notifications is that you can see photos. So someone texts you a photo, or if you have a Ring camera, for example, or Eufy, like I do, you can see like the photos that come with it. So I think that's really nice as well. Another thing is like if you get a text message, you can reply to them. You can also reply to a WhatsApp message. You can just send any, these are like the pre-made responses. You can go ahead and write your own responses in the Garmin Connect app and add that here as a preset and just send that off all the time. So I do like that. So you can go ahead and you can reply to emails. And when I say reply to emails, I've tried it for Gmail. With Gmail, I am able to send a reply. For Outlook, it opens it up on my phone, so I can reply to the email here, but I can't reply to that email directly on my watch. All right, guys, so when it comes to sleep tracking on this watch, as soon as you wake up, within about a minute or two, all of this is gonna be available on the watch for you. You don't have to go sync it to your phone or do any of that stuff. Come over here, you can see my sleep score. You can see sleep duration, a sleep quality message, and another message about how your sleep was. So down here, you can see your sleep stages. So you have your deep sleep, your light sleep, your REM sleep, and your time awake. You can see a little graph of all of that, as well as when I fell asleep and when I woke up. Here you can see that broken down into specific times. Another little graph as well in the border there. Coming back up to the top here, you can see Sleep Insight, which gives you a little bit of a more detailed message about how you slept. It doesn't accurately always track if you're sleeping during the day. You want to manually start that if you're someone who, for example, you sleep during the day, you work at night. Sleep tracking is still not amazing. Sleep tracking, in my opinion, is Garmin's like one weak point that they really need to just work on. When it comes to the sleep stages, time awake is way too low. I know I was awake for at least an hour last night. My cat woke me up, but when it comes to when I woke up, when I fell asleep, I think that is very accurate. When it comes to the sleep message, I think that is usually spot on. So when it comes to maps on this smartwatch, it does have thousands of topographical maps built in. I have all the North America maps because that's where I live, but you can get maps for, wherever you live in the world. The Fenix here also has ski maps, golf course maps. The maps do come pre-downloaded as well, which is really nice. You can use navigation. And one thing I like is explore nearby. So that's something I'd love to use when I'm traveling. I actually just got back from a vacation. I was on Royal Caribbean's Enchantment of the Seas, so stay tuned for a review about that if you're interested. And it will search for different things near you. Like you can see nearby cities, convenience stores, restaurants, movie theaters, and more. For example, if I click on shopping, it's gonna show up some nearby stores for me. So you guys can see it near me. There's the Rexall Canadian Tire, for example. So I can just click on there. It gives me step-by-step directions, tells you exactly where to go when you're navigating, which is really helpful. Without using data or Wi-Fi, it's something you can do for free that's already built into your watch. And I have found the maps feature to be very spot-on accurate. And built-in maps, the navigation, all that stuff is one of the reasons why this smartwatch is quite expensive. Another thing that makes it more expensive is that sapphire lens. All right, guys, so I've covered a bunch of great features about this smartwatch, but now I'm gonna talk about some cons I've noticed about it. So the first con for me is the color options. They are super limited. For the 43mm version of the Fenix 8 here, there are only 3 different color options. You can get it in a white, you can get it in the version I have with the sandstone, or you can get it in black. That is it. I really don't love any of the color options, to be honest. I like really feminine looking kind of colors, and Garmin didn't give us any of that for the Fenix 8. All of the colors are very unisex looking. Another thing is the fact that Garmin decided not to do a small version. There is no Fenix 8S, so I really don't like that. I feel like Garmin's disregarding women and men with smaller wrists. I did get used to it a little bit, the size, but I still don't like the size fit. I prefer the smaller size of the Fenix 7S and the Fenix 6S myself. Another con about the smartwatch is the price. It is super expensive. This is the most expensive smartwatch I've ever bought, and it's just obscenely expensive. So I really don't like that at all. I definitely recommend, if you want to get this, to buy it on sale. Wait for, a major sale holiday coming up. Valentine's Day is coming up soon. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Black Friday, Amazon Prime Day, all of those. I would try to wait and buy it there if you can. If you want it right away, I have put a video out on how I get discounts on my Garmin smartwatches, because Garmin does not sponsor my videos. I buy all the smartwatches myself. So if you're interested in how to do that, I have a video coming up at the top right, also linked in the description below for you to check out. You can save yourself hundreds of dollars on this watch in particular using that method. Another thing I don't like about the Fenix 8 here is that they took away the memory and pixel display. The Fenix watch is a smartwatch where people are mostly gonna take it outdoors, and when you're outside, you want really good visibility outdoors. You don't wanna have lots of glare. You don't wanna have to worry about your smartwatch dying because you have this display on all the time. With a memory and pixel display, it's always on. You get great battery life. There's solar charging options available. We don't have any of that with the Fenix 8 43mm here. And if you do want to get a memory and pixel display Fenix 8, you have to go for the larger 47mm version. And the final con for me is when you open up the activities, with pretty much every other Garmin watch, you press one button and you open up activities. Here, you gotta press the button and then you gotta press it again, and then you gotta go into the different categories to try to find your activities. I would have just preferred if they just left it as the one click and then you can choose an activity that way. It just was faster. And all right guys, considering the price, the quality, the color, the performance, the battery life, the ease of use, the comfort, and everything like that, I would go ahead and give this a 9.5 out of 10. I definitely do give it a thumbs up. So if you guys are looking to pick up the Garmin Fenix 8 43mm here, I've gone and left a link down in the description for you to use. If there's anything I missed today that you want to know, just go ahead and drop that in the comments below. I do read all the comments. I'll definitely get back to you. I love hearing from you guys. And you guys did request this review. A lot of you want to see me review the Fenix 8. I didn't pick it up initially because I found it a little bit too big and I like smaller smartwatches, but I was actually very pleasantly surprised by the Fenix 8. A lot of nice changes here. All right guys, hope you found this video helpful. So if you did, once again, please go ahead and smash that like button for me and definitely consider subscribing. I do drop new tech videos every week. So if you guys are asking me whether or not I think the Fenix 8 is worth it, I would say I definitely don't think it's worth it at the regular price. Just for me personally, I don't think it's worth it. While I don't have one single smartwatch that does everything the Fenix 8 does, I would have to use two, for example, a Fenix 6S and a Venu 3S to get all the features. I personally already have devices that can do those things, so I don't think it's worth it for me. However, if you're someone who you don't have a smartwatch, you want something that's top of the line, and you're gonna take advantage of all the features on here, like having music ability, having topographical maps, having a voice assistant, having an abundance of activity tracking, suggested workouts, all that stuff, then I think it may be worth it for you. If you're just thinking like, wow, the Fenix here, but it's way too expensive, then I have some other alternatives for you. If you're looking for a cheaper smartwatch from Garmin that still has great activity tracking and looks less sporty, I would definitely recommend checking out the Garmin Venu 3S, the Garmin Lily 2 Active, the Garmin Vivoactive 5 as well. Those are some hundreds of dollars cheaper than the Fenix 8 here. And if you're interested in checking out any of those, you can find my reviews linked in the description below for you, or you can head on over to my YouTube, AbbyBReviewing, click on my Garmin playlist, and check out some of the videos I have there on Garmin watches. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.